Alright, this is now what we have to do and why we're doing it. I will set this the fuck away so I don't get caught in that mess. And it could be real bad. It could be real fucking bad. It gets in that death loop. Sometimes it'll come on, sometimes not. The memory card is slightly ajar. One time it shot it across the room, that same fucking card. I was gone for like a month. It was gone. It shot that motherfucker all the way across the room into the unknown. Just chance of fact, I found it. Try to put it back in there, and I can't get it to lock in. Slightly out of position, but I did get into position. Seems like it's kind of fucked up. Now, I don't need it to be hardwired in. I ain't to that place yet. I'm having a transition. Have you ever had to transition? I know that's a dumbass question. I've got more than one dumbass question that's answered today, but I like to keep one day at a time, one special victory. Usually it's to keep it to myself until it takes some real proving. Once it gets into the advanced phases of let's fuck with this and see what happens, that's really where I do my best work. And I don't like to do that under complete observation. I save that to the final end. But I watch myself. I watch how I do shit. I watch what affects me, and I say stuff. And as a person that would like to shut the fuck up in some areas, I find it very difficult. It always amuses me, or I find it fascinating, how something that you should so shut the fuck up about, how it can get under your own skin, and how you can be prompting yourself with pokes and prods in such a way as, where is the actual fucking thing coming from? Where is the actual self in the mix? Well, I found it. I don't like to be told I can't do something. There's something deepest inside of me that is very scornful of that. Not in the wrong way, though. It's not stupid. It's clearly smart. It's kept for itself some sort of intelligence it can draw apart, but it has to be isolated to get to that conclusion. Now, this I find very strange, that you can even do this. And where does it, where does it go from there? That's the thing. This important journey, I've heard it said a bunch of times, not just one time, many. Make the unconscious conscious. The whole integrate that shit. So I like to see when I can fall back into subconscious action. Like the few moments ago when I had my cup and then I lost it, I had to walk back and forth and look around. At some point, I fell out of awareness with the cup in my hand, not going to my dinner and cooking dinner. This is where I was trying to get, so why did I go away? See, that refocusing into yourself is important. It's where you lose your most effort. It's also where you have extremely more than you need at times where chill the fuck out. Nobody wants to chill the fuck out. You tell somebody that, they're likely to punch you in the face. So what is the path to this chaos? This is a dangerous place. I know, and I like it. I would like to think that there'd be some other way around, but in often cases I find that there is no other way. This is the way, straight through the mess, the muck and the mess. It's not always the right approach. If you're going to go to D-Day, you better have a plan. I mean, because some of those guys are going to go against those machine guns shredding them down. They ought to know. They ain't coming home that night. There's a certain awareness of that occurs, that the wholeness of the self is experiencing this every day. I don't want to place bad faith in any of those parts of myself, but I need them to know that they're going to die. They're not going to be here tomorrow, and I need to make that tomorrow happen. That's a weird thing to say. It's possible, but in a way it is possible. It's found out. I've seen it. There's enough part of me to spend for the rest of my life to put that perspective in place. And I don't think I'm the fucking special, extraordinary cookies. I think that I am no different than any other motherfucker in the case of being able to see where that's at. It's a weird mix of real good feeling and a little bit left out there that I got to experience too from my ex. Because when the message she told me was that she had cut out these two parents that raised her in her life. One of them that she would mention was her brother, and he got older, and he never got to leave the family because he does have a disability that, for the most part, he's overcome, but was at very high risk of being imprinted and having the same fucked up thinking that would be inherited. You know, the part of her that I would expect to be her and alive or surviving should know that. The fact that she had, I don't even talk to my brother. I didn't hear none of that at all. I went right to work at it. I told her she shouldn't be that way. And then I said the other things that needed to be said. I told her, yes, your parents did do that to you. But you unfortunately know that that works, but you beta tested it with me. I'm like, and if that was something that you could just get rid of people in your life and be free of it, that'd be one thing. You'd be admin. But if you carry on independently a form of that thinking, and it's taking my kids from you, and they still need me, that would be a lot. And then I would cut for her brother any day of the week. And I don't know him from fucking anybody else. He's about as a family member person as am I as a father. It's fucked up that I say that. In a fucking weird living situation with victim personality. Nobody told me this. But then again, I took liberty. I have a strange connection with Liberty. I was born there. You know, that's just the place's name. It's not that big of a deal. I'm pretty sure they named it along the same lines of Americana and stuff like that. It's just a little town. Ain't much there. But it happened that when I got into the secret society, it's not a secret you can't talk about it, it's such a secret. That the name gift given for admittance upon initiation was the moniker Frater Libere Inferment, which basically translates with liberty in it, of course, to save the weak. I like it. Seems like a fool there. A little bit of like some Jesus thing in that statement. You know, unless you're a crawly like psychopath, you take the name they give you. But you're dealing with real hardcore egos in a situation like that. Fortunately for me, I got another one later on because they continued fucking up and rebranding themselves since the inception in the 1800s. And I think it's taught us modern society folks, those of us that have tried to gather something that we find so special about the deep past, Egypt, stuff like that. I love that shit. I never knew how much. And it's not that fucked up worship like some people can do. I feel like I have an actual grasp of something metaphysical, spiritual, something more. But I experienced it. I had things happen based upon that time that caused me to affect other people's life. My son's name, Aurora. That was one of the God forms. The whole God form thing was new. I didn't know what was possible until I found out. And I found out with the God form for Horus, the elder, Aurora. And I got the inspiration after the fact. Come to me on 95 when I decided that wasn't going to be his name. And I think he partook of that. Already had some of my mind and some whatever a dad can be. And that currently is sadly where I remain having only any connection. And every day of my life, where I'm wondering how he's doing, I suffer a bit because I got the ability and miracle to reconnect with my dad and go through the change that actually can occur between a father and a son, only to have him shut me out and use his words to say forever, never going to talk to me again, and then basically spit on my dad's guitar, who I think we would want him to have it. Just a real all of a sudden fucked up shit. That's a hard thing to take seriously. But there's a lot of things that have hit me in the face real fiercely. That one's pretty. That one I've actually got amazingly ability to not be so. What I would say would be the bitch. Not currently chained to him in the way that I'm chained to my other son, but in the exact way that it's a number, and just from one, he's grown up and they've disconnected it. The other one has the whole weight of it. At the still, he's my son. But the rest of my life, I'm trying to get his mom to talk. But in a way that thing is a very material thing, child support. It's almost like it's condensed into the situation as the mom having the baby, because now that number is alive. It's not going to be diminished or messed with. It's not being affected. The whole process, legality, and all how that walks out, actually just proved a point that I kind of knew and feared, but it just reinforced and showed me I was right. At the minute I could be turned into that number, I would be done. And that's exactly what happened. But she had the opt out because I told her that early on. That is exactly what was going to happen, and what made me mad about it, because it would be used like that, and that's exactly what happened. Sometimes if you tell somebody, like me, not to do something, or please don't do something, you know you were better if you just shut the fuck up. You introduce into the consciousness a thing and say don't the thing, you practically do it yourself. One, I know you're not going to eat it, but you can smell and poke it around like I know you'd be happy. And that was what I want Gina to have. I see you looking. Yeah, I'm giving it to you. No, you don't have to eat it, but you mess with it. Whatever you want to do. Licking your lips makes me think you're a little bit interested, but what do I know? I'm just somebody that thinks the cat's carnivore. Mostly. Damn, these are good tater tots. And damn, that's the right time to put them in there. 11 minutes. And hell yeah, 400 degrees, not 360, 90, whatever it was. Sometimes your gut will fucking take you right to the place. But oftentimes, if it's not in combination with a better guidance system, which you better fucking be working on way ahead of time, you basically have just brought the wrong weapon to your own fight against you. And could maybe do a lot of harm to the whole process that way. There are so many things that fit that. A little bit off, and you just fucked it all up. It only goes to say our mind does have so much power, and it's structured in such a way as for us to be in positions to be able to realize that and put it back right. We have to have a will to do that. The mind will not do it. It can't. You have to find that from the will. And that is in your heart. And your heart's capable of thinking too. Science has shown, but it ain't a mystery. They've known that. That's the older form of truth. That's why the descent of us into this state never was fucking sin. It's mental fucking mind living. You live in your heart, you don't fucking experience the world the same way. It's not so black and white, and pain and suffering and a little bit of pleasure here and there. The mind only deals with that. A forever loop of binary bullshit. I don't fucking think that the younger generation that's trying to be blue agenda or whatever, I think that they have all been taken on the fact that they are aware, they who know that the younger group of children are capable of transcending that fucking illusory thought. And they've got them early on and pulled them the way they want. They wrote that they were going to do that. They know, like, the people that are trying to mind fuck us, they're not being secret about it. They're boldly saying that's what they're going to do. They're going to come for your kids. So we're going to listen to them? All I'm saying in regards to that is that when somebody tells you they're going to do a thing or they're a piece of shit, take them on their word. Because it's a good idea. And because of this yes and no and bullshit thinking, we have a tendency to lean out of what we know is going to happen and to see a thing and listen to a truth when it's not a good thing to know it could happen. That's a failure of the will. That's not a failure of the thinking. Thinking ain't never going to get us anywhere without the will. We're going to have to pull over, turn around, and go back every time. But it just seems to me that it is so easier to come to that conclusion, have to redeploy the self in some way that you can do. It's not like it can't be done. It just requires something so much more from you. It's from you that I can't even like say what you have to do to get it in that shape, other than to know I'm telling you because I'm going to be doing it. It'd be nice to not be so handicapped by something so stupid. But as life does, I'm not taking it just on me. I'm taking it on the experience that validates it being true. And when I look outside and I need a better fucking, I need a little more than what I've had before for the not so, we'll call the House of Hope just fucking important. The House of Hope is just as important as those that would be the House of Faith. But the House of Hope is first. You gotta hope first before you get to faith. Faith's just another level. You know where it's going and coming from. You're dealing with it like it's got an account. That's gonna happen with you in regards to your relating to the other world, and still it's on you. You have to create those things that get that job done. And it is a mental thing. But that one won't leave you fucking high and dry. It'll get to a point where you need to have it interact back. There are plenty of spiritual forces that will embody those things our mind is already predisposed to creating the containers. I've had this happen. just so weird that it took all four of the elemental kingdom to have the intervention with me to say that I needed to adjust my shit because I went to total war with the roaches. This happened a long time ago, but I attribute it to this orgone stuff. This other level of awareness kicked in, and it's very keyed in on this life energy shit. And it's not independently free of just me. There is something outside that's living here in the world amongst all this stuff that we're manifesting in our mind. But it had enough of its own other to be almost like of the natural realm, some earth spirit shit. Earth, air, fire, and water. Each one said, no, you're gonna have to work on this, and had me have I had to have the talking to. My higher self had to intervene and tell me, what the fuck? You can't just go to total war with the bugs. What the fuck's going on here? I was like, what do you mean? What's the problem here? They a pest, I'm a killing the pest. What's the problem? You're not supposed to go that extreme, even in your thinking, unguided. I mean, total war. Think about if we fucking unleashed total war, and then we just did it automatically over some slight or some shit. It's closer for us to be like in a dangerous situation from that realm, and I'm right there with everyone else. That's the place of the most fucked up yard to mow with the fucking bullshit ass old style. There's no motor. This thing I'm just pushing is gonna mow the grass. That's the type of lawn mowing as 1950s chore. Get your ass outside and do it. That's the level of the work that's gotta happen. And nature wants that out of us. And it says we're fucking avoiding it and calls us out. If it does it 4 different ways, you better listen to that shit. They know what they're talking about. And nature will help us, but we gotta listen back. And it's 4 voices, not just one. 4 different ways to know that we can fuck shit up and try to be one just way. I got put out, I got called on blast. If I didn't have my higher self to say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You're in trouble. I was like, well, I know the gnomes are pissed off at me, but that's for spraying poison. I won't do that again. It took me a whole year. The gnomes kicked me out of my garden for a year. I couldn't even go in there. It was ridiculous. I never seen nothing like that happen before, and I don't want to see it again. Not in my heart, no way. Don't fuck with the gnomes. You spray poison in an area that you got gnomes, you ain't gonna be in that area no more. They're gonna be mad. You don't want them little motherfuckers mad. I'm pretty sure they could do some fucking real horror level shit. But basically, they're like little old men that you've known your whole life, might appreciate and like you enough to kick you out of the garden. I'm lucky for that. You should have seen them. I ain't seen actual people gnomes. I'm not saying I saw them, but I did. It was just in my mind's eye. And it was fucking hilarious. I'm glad they didn't fuck me up, but they did. They just didn't harm me physically. I guess maybe they all colluded to let me have this lesson to get this fucking truth out, because it is weird and strange. But I didn't find myself hunting and looking for little people. I'm not saying they don't exist, don't get me twisted. But if you didn't know, and you wouldn't, you'd be set up for failure. And that's the standard issue model for almost any fucking thinking, any process, any concept. It's all fucking fucked off. You almost need a master level to even navigate it. Because if you can't get to the point where you gotta realize you need that, that's where humanity's at. It should be okay to see that, say it, and then do something. But at the greatest sense, we have tried to avoid that about as long as one can. It don't work, it ain't gonna work, and there ain't no sense in going like it would when you could do something else. There is something else. It may not be what you want, but I guarantee you it is. It's just like my situation. I told Meg the way it was. I put the same truth out there. I was like, We're gonna have these kids our whole life. They're gonna need us our whole life. It may be in my victimhood interest to act like the point in time of, well, the marriage is gone, and now your child support can't be distracted from you. I guess you don't have that obligation to forward to. I'm saying it translates. I already told her. I was like, that money just represents what I owe them for the rest of their life in having a future. And if I don't work at that now, like with the fucking government and the debt, they're gonna sell us all to shit. If I have to keep my head on the swivel and it costs $150,000 debt that I don't think they're gonna be able to get from me or I'm gonna be able to make, I have to fucking work my mind around it. I didn't like looking at that. I sure as hell don't like getting that bill to come in. I sure as hell don't like it being something they can continually take me at any time for. I just had to go through the process of telling her that and asking for some back. And it's funny what she didn't talk. What she communicated and what I was able to get out of it, it's very strange. I don't want to try to put it in the way as I can look at it. And I see where she's at, though. I try to give her a future of interacting that's necessary for the kids to be able to be fucking grown, healthy, and safe. If she can't realize that, I can't help her get that realization. Well, then I don't even know what the fuck we were doing having kids. Most people are in that boat. But that's our job as humans, to be in that stupid situation, having sex, and then getting pregnant. 90% of all people were fucking and didn't try to have their children. Spoiler alert. That's like when you tell your fucking parents, hey, I know, you know where those things come from? What, baby? You can make them laugh. The best joke is the most out of place, humorous joke like that. You can drop that in a room and really make people go shit crazy laugh. It never gets old. And it's so funny that it's newer and fresh, more funny each time. So that's done. Done. Weren't you just fucking when you had your first kid? Yeah, almost. Yeah. That girl he was with, fucking. Probably because he liked that pussy too. Getting the shit out of it. And we got Jake. Jake's mom's not around, but Jake is, and Jake's fucking an incredible man. Grew up, he's a little bitty dude. It's so strange. In some areas, it seems like time is just stalled, but in some areas, it just rolled out. It's just very weird. That like my mind goes right back to him being so young, which is very strange because it's not like I don't fucking know. There's only, I mean, I have the area of my children who have an image stalled out and a person who could fix that, aware of the trauma, aware of everything that tool I gave her, but then I have to operate as, if you're not going to please mercifully assist me with the picture, I can't help but file you in some sort of way. Sadly, if there is no response and I just try to keep it alive and have an answer, it's going to very harmfully leave me with a situation where it just looks like another person that's in subconscious, probably going to be a problem in the world in most of the life. That most of the greater things they could do, they just didn't decide they were important at all, or they didn't want to sacrifice it for their comfort. I'm in the same boat. Except this I gotta do. It is not comfortable to do. I'd love to be like, oh, too much time has passed. I guess I'll just, wait for my kids to show up and maybe reconnect with me. That's not really good enough. And I haven't had any alternatives that were fucking fruitful. The ex-in-laws never said a word. I don't know how many times I leaned on it, though, to help me not be so fucked up. I actually called and talked to the fucking in-law, only to have my ex say, she never said nothing. I don't know what to think. One, somebody's lying, and somebody is knowing they're lying. To me, that I don't like. To some degree, where I can get that change to occur, that's none of my business. I just like to have that develop with a little bit of me and a little bit of whoever I'm talking to. That's not on me fully. If that was my job, I'd be fucking a lot more stealthy about it. I would have different concerns. But that's the fight. The fact that it's so hard to work and so difficult on anything you got to ego about ought to be dealt with fast. Because it's going to go to work on you. And if you give it the freedom it needs to talk shit to you immediately about every fucking thing, you're going to find out what you got in there. He's a real asshole, control monster, but it can be put under the fucking rein. But of what is what is required, and you can find that out. Because the power that it has, it's getting from somewhere. It ain't it. A lot more mystery finding God inside yourself. Because at the end of that rainbow, that pot of gold, it's got some real fucking power. Or none of this shit would even be going on. We wouldn't be in half the situational bullshit if we recognized what that is. That's an amazing insight too. But a lot of people can't handle that. Not everybody's supposed to. It'd be a different world if you could be like, oh, let's do something on fucking Mount Olympus. He's got it under control. But there ain't nothing up on Mount Olympus. Ain't no fucking castle up there. Ain't no fucking setup. No fucking council. Ain't nothing. The rocks don't even support the fucking appearance of there ever being nobody hanging out up there. No spaceship, landing pad, none of that shit. None of it. And oh, I think they was here. I just think they done a work on us. You flip over that head of that fucking Zeus in the Pantheon, you got a gray alien, buddy. You flip that head over and you look at that thing, you tell me that's not the thing they're saying abducting people. That's one of those tall grays. I guarantee you those things have been tall grays, ugly as hell, and that they've been here a long time. But I bet when people in the old days looked at those things, I bet they did look all cool and fucking badass muscular, because that's what the fuck you can do with your mind. And they can do that to our minds because they fuck with us to have that ability. And why not? I don't give a fuck. I'd rather know that's the truth than think somebody could fucking lycanthropy, muscle pop, and do some shapeshift shit. That'd be a bitch. You know how fucked up you would be? You'd be taking 2 weeks off if you had really had to shapeshift. You want to go into werewolf mode? You bet that motherfucker can only do it during the full moon. There's some truth to that. You ain't doing that twice a week, buddy. Not that chain. That's a fucking doozy. Physical bodies can only do certain things. You gotta have drastically different physics set up before you can shape shit. But it is cool to think about. The problem with thinking is that if you do it, you gotta walk it all the way out. Some of that shit's just not in the way we think of it, even possible. So there. Now I'm gonna try to have this video thinking it come from this camera, which I'm trusting by making this video and having this message. Well, then I gotta put it in the X factor, and then I may not have a video then. Now, 2 of those I was able to do something with by having a special made album of these new videos. It seems like a little bit of a bitch, like somebody's throwing the brakes on me for no reason. You two, I'm looking at you. There's no real what I tell them. I had sound until I fucking went to YouTube, and then there's no sound. Well, thank you, Mr. Mission Control, for giving me the first heads up, because I wouldn't even have known that. And we'll look real stupid just going and not knowing. And where that first happened, that was a badass video. That sucked, because it can't be fake. I'd have to be on the computer again. And all I had to do was throw myself under the bus just right with that. And that came in the form of steam. Thank you, steam. And thank you, water, for steam. I just didn't get a chance to say, we already tried the steam. To a different form of it first. The one that's got the games in the fucking game and the simulators were just right. I had the Goldilocks simulator. It does. Truth will help you get free if you know where it comes from. And a lot of times, the deepest truth is coming from some transcendent, transhuman, than one person place. I like to think of it as if we were all like in a having a well inside of us. If there is some source of some other water, I don't physically mean that. I'm painting a picture, but I found it in everybody, and it comes out when it needs to address you. That's a wonderful thing to get a message from. It will come from every single person that has it. They don't even have to be aware of it. It's so odd that they can bring you that truth, and you cannot fuck around. You can have it from them, and it can check the box because you need that. Some people are not supposed to be tampered with. They're doing something their own way. You got to find out where your way is and how it interacts with that. Don't fuck with the free will. Some people are just on the road they go because they're doing a mission. You don't know. You would not get it, but you need to expand out your capabilities. On this matter, I did get um, an assist from another higher self. Probably the only time I ever had it happen. It wanted me to send the lower self a message from its higher self. And I'm like, no way, buddy. You got me fucked up. I can't hand that message over to you. I ain't doing it. Fortunately, it being a higher self, it was helping me out. I did. I had to go through the process. But I see that that's connected. It made it abundantly clear why it is doing it. And it even said that that was the whole point of its coming here, was to do what it's doing like that. And it ain't nothing that needs any help from me. If I didn't have the ability to know that, then I'd be fucking up in other people's lives where I don't need to be that. But to be that, whatever you have other than that, as an advocate to that, it's good to have that. You want to know always, you want to have proof of something if you really think it matters. And you can get that in this world in almost every fucking way. I don't think I have any single thing that hasn't found out a way. And trust me, I don't want to be doing work like that. That'd be like the dumbest fucking impossible job to ever do. It'd be like the guy who's got to find ghost proof or his life depends on it. Like fuck, why don't you ask me for Bigfoot too while you're out there? That guy's not coming home from work. He's out of here. It's like that guy's not going to get his paycheck anytime soon. It's almost like some real work that you're not going to be able to do because it's not time. It's not to be discovered. The world has that as an important uh, load bearing part. If you start going fucking with that and other people's lives, you enter yourself into a very dangerous zone of egoism that's a different form of selfish. That's the real danger is selfishness. Because it really doesn't believe anyone else is here but it. That's a whole nother level. You have one of those higher selves talk to you, you better run. Because they're fifth density negative, and they can take you out of this place